New Minds presents
The Steam Train! Hello everybody and welcome back to The Steam Train, the super awesome New Mind show where Dorian, Toby, and all sorts of different characters get up to shenanigans and learn a lot along the way. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go ahead and see what happened earlier in this episode. Hey, Toby, look at this cool thing I found. Oh, that's pretty... Toby? 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 Earth to Toby! Huh. You guys tell me. Does this work? Now, I'm no hypnotist, so I don't know if this actually works, but I do know physics and I know what this tool is called. This tool is called a pendulum. It is a weight on the end of a string. This weight can be anything. A kazoo, an eraser, a metal ring, a pencil sharpener, or even Legos. As long as we have a mass or a weight at the end of a string, we have a pendulum. But what's the point of pendulums and what do they do for us? One thing a pendulum lets us do is see a change in energy. Right now, this pendulum is sitting still and nothing is acting on it except for gravity. If I pull it, it's waiting to move. Everyone knows if I let go, it's going to swing. Energy that's waiting to be released, like a spring or something held up high, is called potential energy. While this object wants to let go of its potential energy, it needs to change it into something new. Kinetic energy or moving energy. And a pendulum lets you see this really easily. When it's at the top of a swing, it has potential. When it's moving in the middle, it has its most kinetic. It fights gravity again and goes back to potential, and then it switches back to kinetic. The cool thing is that this energy is not gained, it stays the same. So if I put my hand right here and I let go with the other hand, it's not going to touch my hand again. Because the energy, it's losing some because of the friction in the air. It's not a perfect pendulum, but it's never going to get more energy than it started with. You know, I think Toby would really enjoy this. I haven't seen him at all today. I wonder what he's up to. I have a really cool idea of something we can try and do using pendulums. You notice that they don't just swing side to side. You can make them go in circles. You can make it kind of zigzag. You can kind of spin it and move it in a circle and come up with unique patterns. And I think that these shapes can be really interesting to track and see how they land. So let's get some supplies together. To make the pendulum, we're going to need today string, tape, and a marker that works pretty well. I'm using a Sharpie. A lot of my normal markers have dried out, but this marker still marks pretty dark. Step 1. Find something you can write on that won't get messed up if it gets hit by stray marks. We have this old table that's been painted on. Maybe you have a piece of wood or a piece of cardboard. It needs to be sturdy enough to write on. Step 2 is to place your target paper in the center of your table. Step 3. Tape down all 4 corners of your page. Use something like Scotch tape or painter's tape. Duct tape and packing tape will rip your paper when you pick it up off of the table, and you want it to stay nice and intact. Now you should have a setup area for this experiment. Now that we have our safe area set up, we're going to use our supplies and make a marker pendulum. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my string, wrap it around. I'm going to use this hook, which is pretty conveniently placed on my Sharpie. And I'm going to use tape to make sure it stays in place. Not everyone knows how to tie a knot, so I like to use tape as an easy solution for everyone. You want to make sure the string hangs off of the end, not somewhere in the middle. I'm just going to tape the two strings together and it'll have the same effect as a pendulum. The cool thing about this being a Sharpie is when I'm ready to use it, I can flip it over. And when I'm ready to put it away, I can turn it the other side. But I haven't told you what your challenge is yet. Your challenge is using your pendulum, not directly touching the marker. Try and draw a self-portrait on your paper in your safe area. It's going to be difficult, but see how well you do on your first try. So this is how my self-portrait turned out. There's a way I usually draw my face that's pretty blocky. So this was meant to be the side of my face, and I think I did this pretty well. The other side, however, isn't as good. Up here, I try to start at the bottom of my hair and have some specks in it, and it just turned into a big blobby mess. And if I didn't tell you what this is, it probably wouldn't notice that it's a self-portrait. And that's okay. Sometimes you're going to do work that isn't perfect. You might be a little bit disappointed. Let's talk a little bit about being disappointed. Sometimes things aren't going to turn out how you expected them. Maybe you have a picture in your head and it turns out differently. Just know that it's okay. Sometimes the first step on something is the hardest because you're not going to be perfect at it. There's nobody who's been perfect on something on the very first step. For me, failing is the most important part of moving forward. And that's why we did this experiment with only one try. I'm sure there's things you're looking at you wish you could do better or wish you could do again, and you'll get a chance to do that. Sometimes this happens, but you can't let it discourage you. When it doesn't turn out perfectly, that means you have room to grow, more room to try, and more to learn. You may be tempted to ball it up, tear it apart, maybe start again. Even if it doesn't turn out perfect, finish the project. It might be something new entirely. Now, I want you to try this experiment again. Keep an open mind, and now when you try and draw your self-portrait, turn your picture into something new. Look at the parts of it you like, and find the parts of it you don't like. Don't use the pendulum and turn the picture into a brand new, unique picture. After you've done that, feel free to try this pendulum experiment over and over again. If you have some free time, look up Pendulum Artist on the internet. They're pretty cool, and they make these really amazing paintings. Now, I haven't heard from Toby in a while. I think he might actually still be hypnotized. So just to make sure, let me snap and make sure he can snap out of it. Where am I? What just happened? Thank you guys for tuning in with another real inspired learning with new minds. And also another amazing episode of the STEAM Train. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you like the video down below. If you have an idea what we should do next, leave a comment. And if you want to catch all of our awesome New Minds content, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys all very much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Here's an outro.